Hi, I'm Hannah.
And I'm Matt Hannah.
And this is Horror Hour with the Hannahs,
where you come for your weekly dose of dread.
And today we are discussing the highly anticipated new release, Good Boy.
And just to get it out of the way, we were actually given an early screening of this movie, so we didn't see it in theaters, but it was pretty awesome that we were provided with that. So, just wanted to be forthcoming about it.
And so we don't have any theater experiences to share today like we normally try to with new releases, but I will say watching it at home was still pretty effective for me. I still screamed out loud because I'm a doofus.
Agreed. And shout out to the Good Boy team for sending us that early screener.
Yeah, it was awesome. I was very, very excited. I believe it was IFC that sent it to us.
Okay, perfect.
So thank you very much.
All right.
I'm worried that that's not correct, but
well, whatever. I don't think they pay attention.
Well,
someone sent it to us.
Yeah, that's okay.
Cool.
We were very excited to get this one, though. This was definitely one of our most anticipated
for the rest of the year.
movies.
I would agree. After this, now I feel like it's Frankenstein for me for horror movies.
Okay, it was actually Strike.
Media, there we go.
So
okay.
Thank you, Strike.
Thanks, Strike.
Yeah, this was definitely one of my most anticipated for the latter quarter of the year. And that was mostly because there was a dog. I'm pretty sure that's why everyone was.
The whole hubbub about the production of it being, the director was the dog's parent and the producer was also the director's wife. And they kind of shot this over, 3 years, they said? Is that one of your fun facts?
Yeah, it is one of my fun facts.
Oh, my bad.
It took over 400 days of filming, which took over 3 years because,
And they still only got an 80-minute movie out of it? Not even?
Well,
I think 75 minutes.
It's a puppy.
I know.
Well, not a puppy, but a tiny good boy.
I'm glad it wasn't much longer, to be honest. I feel like it was the right length for what they were doing.
It was the right length as well. I thought it was short and sweet. This movie was directed by Ben Leonberg in his feature directorial debut, and it's co-written by him and Alex Cannon. It was theatrically released in the United States by IFC and Shudder, and it's starring Indy the dog. And his character's name is Indy. They kept it real easy with that one.
I made it easy because he was not a professional dog actor prior to this. So
no, he was not. And they were like, yeah, he knows basic commands, but
yeah,
he's just a little guy.
He's a big guy. What do you mean?
You know what I mean by just a
little guy. He's a very cute guy.
He's so cute. I'm normally a small dog person, but holy shit, is Indy the dog the cutest man.
And we'll get into this later, but he was just so expressive the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Really amazingly expressive. And give a lot of credit, one, for just having a cute dog, but also to the director for, I guess, pulling that potential out. It was pretty interesting. But I'll give you room to give us some more fun facts.
The back of the box description for this movie, though: a local dog moves into a rural family home with his owner, only to discover supernatural forces lurking in the shadows. As a dark entity threatens his human companion, the brave pup must fight to protect the one he loves most.
That's a good back of the box. Better than most.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty succinct description of the movie.
That's what it's about.
So, some fun facts. As we already discussed, this movie took over 400 days of filming. The director, Ben Leonberg, said most films that feature dog performers have doubles, triples, or quadruples of the main dog, so they can make a full 12-hour shooting day. We were only working with Indy, and that meant, by necessity, the film had to spread out over a long period of time.
Yeah, they were saying they're basically getting an hour of time a day.
Yeah, they weren't getting too many hours.
He'd do he likes to have a job. He would do his tricks, and then after that, it was over.
He's I'm going to bed, so fuck off.
Well, they needed that sometimes, too. They had to just work around his schedule. He had his own little trailer. So
yeah, I showed Matt a lot of TikTok interviews with Ben and Indy. So
it was very interesting.
Matt is knowledgeable about the
background.
background.
It was pretty funny to see Indy because he's just he's a good dog, but he's not trained. He's trained in the sense that you and your family train a dog versus an actual movie trained dog. So he was he's got no idea what's going on. The cameras are there. He's just walking around confused.
He was not cooperating with anything. It was so cute.
Most dogs, they got no idea what's going on.
It really reminded me of how our dog would
I'm looking at him right now.
Except I do think Indy's probably smarter than ours, but happens.
I don't know. Norton's eyes are just as expressive as his.
I think ours is a function of getting our dog at 6.
He could have done it. Look at him. I'm turned around, looked at him right now. Look at those eyes.
I know. I've seen his... he is the most handsome man I've ever seen.
Not Indy. Or second. Indy's second.
Oh, they're all tied. They're all the most handsomest. But yeah, Norton's dumb-dumbness is a function of getting him at 6 when he was already pretty stubborn.
True.
But,
and he's a small dog, so...
You get what you get.
Yeah.
But, Ben said, frequently he's not listening to specific commands. It's more me creating a set of circumstances that he'll react in a way that's going to look like a performance. A classic example is the scene where he looks in the corner early in the movie. We see an empty corner and he does a classic dog head tilt. For that, I just gave him a command he didn't know. So he's been following my instructions. Here, sit, stay. Neon sign. And he's just like, what the heck does that mean?
That's really funny.
And when you take out my talking on set, which is profoundly unscary, and replace it with all the amazing sound design and music, the shot of a dog reacting to that strange empty corner, it looks like a performance.
Yeah. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
This is very different. I mean, we've seen animals in movies, but like not exactly like this,
not
where
like
they're
this,
full on the lead and they're not voiced over by Michael J. Fox. Or animated.
Yes. Yeah. Additionally, Ben, the director, Indy's dad, had to play Indy's dad for some of the movie. For a decent part of the movie, he ended up acting as Todd.
Which made sense, probably out of necessity.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he said there's stuff that Indy would only do with a member of his family. Little things like the way I get up in the morning and Indy weaves in between my legs and gets pats before we start the day. I don't know if I'd be able to get that kind of thing with an actor in that scene. He loves the character because I'm playing the character, and he loves me. He's very method. I love Indy so much.
Yeah, are all dogs actually just method actors?
Maybe.
Yeah. The Daniel Day-Lewis of the canine species.
Yeah.
All right.
Last set of fun facts. This was premiered at South by Southwest and then Overlook Film Festival in early 2025. So at Overlook, it got honorable mention for scariest feature. And at South by Southwest, it won the inaugural Hall of Fame Award for Best Canine Performance for Indy.
The inaugural, yeah.
Yes,
we're going to have to do more of those now.
The first. Very exciting stuff.
Hey, we had a great cat performance with Frodo last year, and then great dog performance with Indy this year. So things are looking up for the animal community.
Frodo was great. Frodo was very cute. I love Cat.
Anything else in terms of fun facts?
I think that's it for fun facts. For our social question for this week,
what do we got?
We decided to go a little different route. It's not really about the film. Because it is October, we wanted to ask our followers what movies did they like to watch for Halloween.
Okay.
So, I got a lot of answers.
Oh, there you go. Read them out.
A lot. So, I'm not going to go through all of them.
We'll just judge their answers.
I'm not going to go through all of them. Spooky Sips Podcast. Their comment says, double, toil and trouble.
Don't even know that one, but good for you guys.
Pocus.
Oh, duh.
Chillers.
I thought that was the actual movie.
No.
Okay, I'm being dumb.
Chillers Podcast said The Others, The Witches, the 90s version, and Conjuring 1 and 2.
All good picks.
That Horror Teacher says we try and watch a movie every night of October. The only ones that are guaranteed to be on the list every year is Trick or Treat, Halloween, The Descent, and The Exorcist.
Okay. The Descent, interesting.
Mm-hmm. People love The Descent.
Yeah. I do too. I don't always see it as horror. Or not, excuse me, as Halloween time. It's definitely horror.
Yeah, it's definitely horror.
I misspoke.
It's Sarah Time says Scary Godmother.
That's funny. I liked that one.
And Bucket of Chum Podcast said Trick or Treat, Donnie Darko, Hack-O-Lantern, Night of the Demons, Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, Terrifier.
Good picks. You got more to find? Because I was going to name some of mine.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, we always watch the Rocky Horror Picture Show, if not more than once for Halloween.
Yes.
I feel like I'm trying to make a reoccurring use of watching Night of the Living Dead around Halloween. Mm-hmm. It really makes me feel cozy, which is a weird thing to say. I love that movie.
Well, it's just
for a lot of reasons.
So it's like...
I'm trying to think of the other ones. Obviously, like I said, Rocky Horror. We always try to hit one of our Halloween or A Nightmare on Elm Street. Scream, I basically watch year-round, so I don't need to watch it around this time. I feel like I pick my coziest ones during Halloween. Since I watch horror all year round, I pick the ones that like make me feel the the most, like it's a nice afternoon, fall, crisp day.
Yeah.
And I put something on.
I agree with this. Someone on Blue Sky, as sparks fly upwards, said, "We barely observed Christmas in our household. Halloween is probably I know what you did last summer."
That's funny.
I don't know why they're talking about Christmas, but that's fine. Puppydactyl Rexazilodon, which is such a funny name. Puppydactyl. Said Shaun of the Dead and Coraline for sure. And then I rounded out with anything campy like Slither, Tucker, and Dale versus Evil, Thanksgiving, and Drag Me to Hell.
See, they're right about saying anything campy. Mm-hmm. You just watched Evil Dead 2, and I feel like that's another one that would be good around Halloween time for me.
Yeah. And then last one I'm going to share, Movie Postmortem Podcast said, "It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown."
Of course. I Gotta Rock.
I love that.
It's so good every time.
I don't really care about that movie, but I gotta rock.
I'll jump in with
so
what
good.
people are saying on the TikTok Live. We have Lake Mungo from Can We Build It? No, We Can't.
That is so funny.
That movie's spooky as hell for Halloween. Not making me feel good inside. And then User with a bunch of numbers said Rosemary's Baby is better than The Exorcist. And then Wild Split, a.k.a. Kevin Bailey, said, no, you can't say that. And I agree with Wild Split, a.k.a. Kevin Bailey. You cannot say that Rosemary's Baby is better than The Exorcist. No, Baby? But I don't care.
Okay.
I've heard it's good, but come on.
Okay.
It's The Exorcist. All right. So,
all right.
Let's get into Good Boy.
That's all our social prompts, so we can get fully into Good Boy now. What was your expectations going into the movie?
I was really excited because I like something a little experimental. And I really just liked the whole premise of, hey, let's make the dog the main character. Mm-hmm. I would say last year we got another kind of experimental movie that I didn't like, which was In a Violent Nature. Yeah, you know.
And then early this year we got... we got Presents, which was also experimental.
And I really liked Presents as well. So we've now had 3 movies from point of view movies, we would say. Point of view of a killer, point of view of a ghost.
Big point of view
and
movies.
Point of view of a dog.
Because I'm sure there's like smaller versions,
of course, but like these are big ones.
Yeah.
And I like that we're pressing for this, and I just thought it was a cool idea, and I was like, well, this dog has to be pretty damn good if they're going to make it. That point of view. And I did also think the idea of following a dog would be ripe for creating actually really good tension and scares because they can't warn you. They can't say anything. They can't tell you what's happening. They're upset. And then also like dogs are known for having more heightened senses, which would typically put us in more dangerous situations as like the viewers. And so that's my nerdy thing I'm saying about it.
Yeah, I would say going in, I had heard of it all year. I was kind of excited, just because I like the concept, and then I enjoyed Present, so I was excited to see what a similar concept would entail, especially because we were pretty much a miss on In a Violent Nature. So
yeah, I would say I was a big miss.
Big miss.
And going for something like that is hard, and I usually like it, but it's like it's not always going to pan out.
We like a big
swing.
Yeah. I think In a Violent Nature was so boring to me that that the swing simply didn't work, but
it's such a swing that it becomes like not. It was more of just a miss is what I would say.
Well,
I felt the wind on that swing.
It's also that like the character that you're following isn't someone you're going to give any flying fuck about, so I think that makes it difficult in A Violent Nature versus in Presence, and in this you have some like you have a lot of empathy for the character you're following. Even 100%. In Presence, it's a ghost and you don't know who it is, but I think you very much care to follow the ghost to figure out their story.
Yes.
And in this, obviously, you're going to have empathy because it's such a good boy.
Yeah, I think if we're just going to complain about In a Violent Nature for a second, you hit the nail on the head of that you have no empathy for that character. And it also assumes that you have a lot of knowledge of slasher films and is like kind of being meta commentary on slasher films. But it's like we've gotten that before with Scream. And it's been much better. Like it just isn't really good commentary. And it's like kind of assuming you like something like a Friday the 13th, which I just don't.
Yeah.
So like, or even if I dislike it, it's like it's not doing enough to make fun of it in I think a compelling way. So
I agree.
My bad. I won't talk about In a Violent Nature anymore.
We have a whole episode on it. So if
go
you want
listen.
to hear us shit on that movie, go listen to it. But,
go listen.
But Good Boy. Yeah, I think going into our discussion of the movie, one of the highlights of the movie is that you immediately care for the protagonist.
Of course you do. It's a dog.
Like,
if you don't, then I might be a little more worried about you.
And
your life is way scarier than whatever you watch on the movie.
And the director said, you have to sometimes convince the audience that your hero is someone to empathize with and root for. If you open the movie with a cute dog, you care about him. And that's what I've been saying since I watched the movie.
Yes.
I said that in my TikTok review, like, immediately after. You immediately love Indy. You love him when you watch a trailer. Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
He's the cutest man, and he's got really adorable facial expressions. So you're immediately like, oh my god, I must protect him at all costs. What can I do?
You have to be endeared to a human, or it has to be an actor you already like because they have that charisma. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, there's certain actors where I'm just predisposed to really liking them, and that'll work. I was just talking about John C. Reilly today because I watched Magnolia, and I feel that way immediately. And I think Paul Thomas Anderson knows that. And here, Ben knows you were going to like this dog right away. So.
And I think it's funny, too. Like, I'm trying to imagine if it were a less cute dog, if I would still, I think, care a lot. But I think because Indy is, like, extra cute, it just makes it so much easier. It's the eyes.
He just, you can see him, like, putting the pieces together. It seems like he's thinking, which I really like that.
And he probably is thinking, but he's probably just like, why is Dad shouting random words at me? And I love that. All right, why don't you give us something that you liked about the movie that's not a spoiler? What I like
that's not a spoiler? Well, I mean, everything I come back to is that I like Indy. I like some of the thematic stuff, which we'll get to, so I can't say that. I think it is mostly shot fine. Actually, it's shot fine, but when I say fine, it's only because of the constraints they had to go to. And given the constraints they had, I think it's, like, kind of excellent.
Yeah,
like, the
agree.
ability, the way that he's able to create story just by shooting shots of his dog and kind of, like, filling in the story around it,
I think is
really impressive.
It's incredibly impressive.
I do wonder, did they say where they shot this? Because they shot it over a long time. Was it a property that was a rental home
in New Jersey?
Okay, so were they living there at the same time then?
I think so.
Because that's how you pay for it, right? Like, because you can't. That'd be way too expensive to
in New Jersey, especially. Yeah.
Or I'm just saying, like, to be able to shoot over that long.
I know.
So it's like you kind of just dedicate your life to that for 3 years, and I think that's really neat. And I really a lot of ingenuity from Ben, and I am excited for him to make something that doesn't revolve around a gimmick now. Even though I like the gimmick, like, I think it's like, clearly you got talent. Like, do something a little easier now, you know?
Yeah, it is very interesting.
Especially, like, this is his first film, right? He picked, like, the hardest. I will say he picked one of the hardest things he could have done, but in reality, I guess for him, it felt easy. So
I think it didn't feel easy, but I think it was an interesting concept, and then he was using his dog for proof of concept, and then realized this could work with Indy,
so
and
just
then went for it,
so
and I love that. I agree, though. I think for what the film is doing, it is shot well. I think for, like, any other film, maybe I would say it's shot just good, fine.
Yeah.
But, like, I think given what the movie is doing, it works really well. I think it really plays on discomfort that I feel with my actual pets. Like when your dog or your cat just stares at a fucking empty corner.
Which our cats love to do.
Like the liminal spaces that they're just, like, staring off into, like these voids, and you're like,
What's
what
over
is
there?
Yeah. Like, what are you looking at? What are you hearing?
That's a fear that I think, like, everyone has felt. Like, from back to, you know, how many thousands of years ago, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Again, we've been to Pompeii. There was a dog in Pompeii with a leash on that, like, people probably have had these fears since the beginning of time, which is a funny thing that we all can, like, relate to this. So. And
I think using your shots to elicit that discomfort that, like, any pet owner already has is really fun. I just think that the way the camera is used for the scares works really well for me.
Yeah. It's almost similar to, I would say, something like It Follows does, where I think it, like, constantly is putting us near the danger.
Oh, it's always putting us near the danger.
It's putting us near the danger, or putting us between the danger and our protagonist, or, like, hiding the danger in front of us in, like, plain sight, which I say is something It Follows does really excellently. It scares you with the camera placement. Yeah,
I think the camera placement is done well to, like, scare us with the things that are, like, right outside the shot, and we're just, like, waiting for Indy to catch it.
And part of that is because the camera's placed really low. I think that kind of gives you that dread because
like
it's with
dog.
Indy. But the other thing is that I feel like, sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. because I said it's placed low, which helps us get dread. I lost what I wanted to say. It was something about camera placement. I'm losing it. Go ahead, just talk.
Also, inherently, this is just a really interesting and cool concept. So, like we said, we love a swing. So I think going into this, either way, we were going to take something positive away from it, most likely, because it's just such a fun thing that hasn't been done before in a horror movie.
I remembered what I was going to say.
Okay.
It was how they like to cast shadows over even all the humans' faces.
Oh, yeah,
because dogs, as we kind of know, can't exactly like see, like they can see, but they don't have like the best vision. All of their senses are through like smell and sound. And so throughout, we as the camera and as the audience also don't really get fully formed faces or fully formed creatures in the dark.
Oh my God.
We only get little bits of it, which adds to that sense of like dread. Is like, we are like Indy. We don't know. We know there's something off there. There is a thing out there, but we can't exactly make it out. And I think that was like a smart decision. So.
Yeah, and I am always the type who like sees shadows or like shapes in the background. Like I often have to point them out to Matt.
I missed them this time.
Matt
I was sleepy though.
It's big miss. And then I watched it with a friend who loves dogs, doesn't like horror, but loves dogs. So she was like, I'm doing it. And she like kept missing the stuff too. So I'd have to pause and be like,
do you see that spooky thing in the background?
Or like, Jenna,
even if you don't catch
like,
it,
circling the thing.
I feel like this works because Indy's fear. You can like see his fear is in those stoic little eyes that
that's
like
the thing.
Kind of get to you.
Like the whole movie, Jenna was like, oh my god, he's so scared. Look at him.
Yeah. He pees at one point.
Oh my gosh!
And Hannah, it made you feel so bad. He's scared.
I like wanted to start crying because
like a little weird nightmare he has.
Love him so much, and I felt so bad. Like he was so scared he didn't pee. Oh, I love him.
Yeah. Okay.
Anything you didn't like that you could spoil?
Yes.
Or without spoiling?
Yes, I think given all the nice things I've said, this does feel like a low budget experimental, almost student film. It's a really cool gimmick and a fun idea. It doesn't feel like a I don't want to say a big screen movie, but what am I saying? Like a
it wasn't something that you thought would
wide
get
release,
a theatrical release.
Which
it
is
was
cool.
going to get like a limited at best, and it was probably going to end up on one of your like streaming platforms. But this movie ended up blowing up because the second anyone saw a trailer, they just kept posting like, does the dog die? And the marketing just like absolutely blew up, so they had to open it to more theaters. And I love that, but you can't go in expecting like a big production.
Yes.
So people who I think went in feeling that way were probably disappointed.
It is like I said, it feels somewhat like an experimental, like kind of student film. And that's that's complimentary. It basically was, right? It's his first thing. So it's definitely a different feeling when you're getting all this marketing for it. It doesn't mean it's not good. And like, I would say it probably could have been scarier. Like I felt like it wasn't really a slow burn, but it did build up to getting to the actual scares. And once I actually got there, like there was some good tension and dread, but I think based on the trailers, I thought I was going to get more from the scares. I don't know if you felt that way, but it was a little light out when I watched it.
How scary would you put it on a scale of 1 to 5?
Like a 2.
Okay, I would put it like a 3 maybe.
Okay.
I think it was scarier because you care so much for Indy. That, like, I think for me, I was just so scared for him that, like, you didn't have to do that much for me to react.
I agree with that. You were, like, rooting for him, and, like, when bad things happen to him, you feel it more. I agree with all that.
Yeah, like, it was there were scenes that were, like, painful for me because I was like, my poor baby.
But I think the concept of setting us up from his perspective is right for creating really good scares. And I don't think it delivers enough on those. And that's just how I was feeling. And that maybe that's where it could have been a little longer. Like I said, like I don't need it to be longer, but had they thrown a couple more scares. But I also will say I think that would go against its theming that we get to later.
Yes,
so
I agree. I screamed like 2 times, 3 times at jump scares. But again, I don't know if I would do that had I been watching with not said friend who can't handle horror and had I not been so panicked for my boy.
Sometimes horror movies are just best with other people, so
I agree. What else was I gonna say about the scares? Oh, there were like 1 or 2 times, maybe like 2 times where like hid behind my hands a little. Jenna hid behind her hands like 5 times. We had a lot of hand hiding, but that's, again, not a horror person. So what I think this movie will do really well is if you're not a horror person, but you want to see this movie because you like dog, I think you're going to have a lot of fun with this movie. Yep. I think it's
definitely fun.
I think it's a good intro to horror movie as well. If you're not really sure of your fear tolerance or your scare tolerance or what kind of scares you're looking for, I do think it's like a good intro to horror movie for sure, for noobs to the genre.
I want to comment on something funny someone said in the TikTok live. Lenny the Toller, which is funny, is just commenting about how the dog Indy is a Toller. And they liked on the movie they didn't name it because they were like, we don't need more people wanting this dog.
Well,
and I think that's very funny. Because
there are just certain breeds that are like difficult to manage or require different needs that people aren't willing to put in to their pets.
Yeah.
Or also, like buy their pets or get their pets. It leads to more
puppy mill bullshit and like, so I think they're actually, I don't know if they did that on purpose because they are marketing him as a Toller in all of the TikTok stuff that the director's doing, but.
I don't think I saw that on TikTok.
He brought every video you showed me talked about him being a Toller. I've never even heard of a Toller. He did, but that's fine.
Maybe just one.
Yeah. But, okay, are you about ready to get into spoiler territory with this?
Yeah, I think we can go for it, for sure.
Okay, I'm going to pull my phone up so we can do 15-second summaries. So, everyone out there, if you don't want to be spoiled, now's the time to leave. If you don't care, we're going to keep going and really get into it. Mm-hmm. Although, to be honest, I think this movie is enjoyable with spoilers. Like, there's nothing.
Yeah, I think you'll have fun.
There's nothing like too crazy that we're gonna like that you wouldn't already expect. Like, it's kind of, you're not really even seeing this movie for the narrative, if I'm being honest.
Not really.
So, okay, do you want to go first for a 15-second summary?
Okay.
Are you ready? Mm-hmm. 3, 2, 1, go.
Indy is a really good boy.
Yeah.
And wants to protect his daddy.
Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, I'll be serious with mine. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so Indy is seeing a ghost, but really the ghost is kind of death coming for his dad who has a chronic illness. And he tries his best to save his dad from death, but ultimately no one can save us from death. It comes for all of us, and even the best boys can't save you, but they can be there for you.
Yeah.
And that is why I'm sad. The ending of this movie really puts all the pieces together and makes you very sad and feels good. So, okay. Well, I am going to read our full plot description now. So let's speed run this bitch. You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, cool. So Todd, a young man suffering from a lung disease, relocates from New York City to his late grandfather's rural home in the woods with his beloved dog, Indy. Todd's sister, Vera, worries about Todd's isolation at the home, believing the house is haunted and contributed to their grandfather's death there. Indy immediately senses a presence in the home, often manifesting in shadows and sometimes appearing as a dark skeletal figure drenched in mud. While roaming the woods, Indy and Todd encounter Richard, a longtime neighbor, who warns them of fox traps he set up in the area. Richard mentions to Todd that he was the one who found Todd's grandfather after his death, and that his grandfather's golden retriever Bandit has been missing since. Indy reluctantly observes the dark entity in the house and encounters an apparition of Bandit, which leads him upstairs. Beneath the wardrobe, Indy finds a bandana that was worn by Bandit. Indy also experiences reoccurring dreams of being attacked by the dark figure and has visions of Todd's grandfather, who appears to have died in the home of a similar illness. Meanwhile, Todd's health worsens. He becomes increasingly aggressive towards Indy as well as Vera, who checks in on him by phone. Late one night, Indy awakens to find Todd in an incoherent state, slamming his head against the basement door. While Todd sleeps, Indy observes the figure approaching the bathroom. Todd awakens, collapses, and is separated from Indy after the entity closes the door between them. Indy escapes the house, intending to find Richard so he can help Todd, but becomes caught in one of Richard's fox traps. Todd then reprimands him by leashing him outside and forcing him to sleep in a doghouse. While outside one night, Indy senses the dark figure and hears Todd coughing loudly from the upstairs bedroom. The figure attempts to attack Indy, but he manages to break free. Indy finds the home's cellar door mysteriously open and infiltrates the home, stumbling across Bandit's corpse in the process. Meanwhile, the dark figure approaches Todd in his bedroom while he is in a weakened, rapidly deteriorating state. Indy arrives to the bedroom and comforts Todd, who turns and faces his own corpse on the bed, realizing he has died. Todd is dragged by the figure through the house and into the basement. Indy chases after him, attempting to save him as he is pulled into a dark, cavernous tunnel. Todd, accepting his fate, tells Indy he is a good dog, but that he cannot save him before he is enveloped in muck and taken by the dark figure. The following morning, Vera arrives at the house and discovers Todd's body. While outside, she finds Indy sitting at the bottom of an exterior cellar entrance. Vera tearfully calls for Indy, who pauses before ascending the stairs to her.
Oh, baby. He didn't want to leave his dad.
It is tough. Was diseased. But, oh my. Okay. Yeah, so spoiler time.
At what point did you pick up on the fact that the dark muck figure
was death?
Was some sort of figure of
death. Death and or the illness,
think it's embodiment of disease, of illness.
I think it kind of plays as both because it takes him in the end.
I think in my head,
I said it pretty early. I mean, I was pretty early on. You asked that I thought it was something.
Oh, I kept asking you what you thought it was, and you wouldn't give me an answer until like pretty close to the end.
Oh, was it the end? I feel like at like the halfway point.
Okay. Maybe.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Okay.
I thought you'd give an honest answer. Sorry. No. I was teeing you up and you gave the wrong answer.
I thought it was like a halfway point.
No, it was definitely like closer to...
Oh, maybe I misremembered then.
The end.
Okay. I just remember saying like, oh, the monster's death.
I think you said that, but then I asked you to elaborate and you hadn't put all the pieces together.
Okay. Well,
maybe.
Whatever.
Okay, maybe it was that. Because I knew for me, the whole time, I was like, okay, this house isn't actually haunted or anything.
I felt that.
This is very much like an embodiment of something. Like, death would make sense, yada yada. But then the sicker that Todd got, I started to kind of put it together that I was probably like death or like an embodiment of Indy's fear or confusion of his illness. And then once we got closer to the end, I was like, yeah, fuck. I think how I interpreted the film in general is that dogs, like, a lot of times dogs can sense that we're sick.
Yes, and that is like part of it's like he can almost sense death coming or the illness coming.
Like, he can tell Dad is sick without Dad having to say, I am sick.
Yeah. And
I know, like, my dog, I think, knows that my dad has stage 4 cancer. Yeah. And when my dad got sicker, my dog had less interest in him. Or, like, is more hesitant to, like, be on his lap. And, like, that happened with my mom's dog and when her friend was getting sicker with cancer as well. And it makes me really sad because I'm like, no, they need cuddles more than ever now. Like, you're being mean. But, like, our pets don't know that. So I think that's kind of where my brain went, is that Indy was very much sensing something was wrong and something was different, and he was scared. But he's a dog, so he doesn't know what it is. So to him, it just feels like this, like, lingering evil.
And I also say that evil kind of comes across as like possessing him because illness can turn us into different people the same way like drug addiction can. I would say like getting sick changes us and can make him angrier or more have like a temper and I feel like but as a dog they can't understand that. And so to them it's this cool way of manifesting it as some other evil or possession when really it is just them.
And I absolutely loved that meaning.
Yeah, I did too.
I think when we're sick, whether we're the one dying or we're the one around the dying person, like, we are going through stages of grief. And I think our main character here, Todd, is stuck in a lot of, like, anger and frustration. Like, he's clearly not doing anything about or doing enough about his health. He's not doing it early enough. We only see him, like, come back from a doctor maybe once. He's not talking about it with family. He's not really doing anything. And then he starts pushing away, like, the one thing he has left, which is his dog who loves him. Like, so I think it was a fun way of kind of showing, like, an individual grieving their own impending death.
Yes, very much so.
And I don't know how much we see that as much as we see, like, a family member grieving.
Correct, yes. A Ghost Story did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that one is very unique because really it's kind of like after death grieving, which is a really interesting concept.
I love that movie. I don't know, I've only ever seen it once.
And I will say, like, the view of the grieving process from the dying person in this is, like, minimized. Like, that's not the point, so we're only kind of seeing small facets of it, but I still like it. Yeah, and I like thinking about it from the perspective of, like, your pet who doesn't get it, and he doesn't get your anger, and, like, even if you're being a shitty person or a shitty dog parent, like, your pet loves you unconditionally anyway.
I was going to say that he just wanted to help him, and he wants to help. And dogs always see things as a problem to fix, and it's like an illness just sometimes isn't. And so, like, he's like, how can I help him? How can I get him help? How can I do this? And it's just like, he can't. And he tells him that at the end. Mm-hmm. And it's heartbreaking. And
I feel like, I mean, that's the same for, like, a small child or someone who's not, like, cognitively
there, you know, fully.
Yeah.
They don't have logical thinking yet.
Yeah.
Dogs have logical thinking, but not to this degree.
No. I'm even just thinking of my sibling.
Yeah.
Who's on the spectrum and doesn't have, like, the same ability to process illness the way that we do, and, like, has more of this, like, hope that something could be fixed.
Yes,
that just,
and
like,
that just can't. Yeah. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah. I think this movie, like, kind of why I liked it a lot, too, and why I thought it was scary is because it, like, very personally stung for what I'm going through right now. I was like, I did not predict that Good Boy was really gonna, like,
make you
hit all of the like current life trauma I'm going through, but it did really well, and that's not something I thought I would get from, like, a little dog movie. Yeah. Like, I feel like I'm trying not to get, like, all stuck in my feels right now, but having, like, and I know I'm just kind of, like, rambling along.
That's fine. Sorry. Go ahead.
But I think having a parent with a chronic illness, or, you know, in stage 4 cancer specifically, who wasn't taking care of themselves, wasn't looking into treatment, wasn't doing the things that they needed to do to take care of themselves. Wasn't looking to live
closer to us to get help. Like, isolated themselves. Sorry.
Very much isolated themselves. I think I see a lot of that in Todd, who also is isolating. He's not calling family. He's not picking up calls from family. Family's offering to, like, come visit him and help him, and he's saying no. He's pushing Indy away. He's not talking about the fact that he's sick, and his sister's like, I feel like your dog knows you're sick. Like, your dog knows something's wrong. Have you thought about that? And he's like, nothing's wrong with me. He's, like, not admitting that things are the way that they are, and that felt real close to home, and I feel like that's not a version of illness that we often get. Yep. Nor is that, like, the average experience with illness, and it's something that I, like, struggle to articulate and talk with other people, because, like, no one that I know has had that particular experience with a passing relative. So I was like, holy shit, Ben.
Good Boy was able to, Good Boy showed you something you hadn't seen.
Yeah.
Well, and I think what's really kind of neat about all of this is that the pieces kind of fall together at the end, because we are given Indy's perspective. There are many times that not Ben, Todd has conversations that we're not privy to, because Indy can't understand English, unfortunately. They can understand commands.
We get, like, small pieces here and there, but not, like, full.
And I feel like in the end, we find out he was only in the doghouse one night, and it was because Ben had decided that he was going to take his own life.
And they don't even, like, very glaringly say that. Yeah. We just, when Indy finally breaks his way back into the house, and it shows
that he's been taking sleeping pills or whatever,
there's, like,
overdose.
2 empty bottles of pills on the ground.
And so I was interpreting that as, like, he wasn't being mean to Indy. He just didn't want what happened to Bandit to happen. He was like, let me put him outside. Someone will find him. Richard, the next door, will find him. And I don't want him to have to see what I'm going to do. And it's very sad. But, like, also as, like, someone with a chronic illness. I'm not saying I'm someone with a chronic illness, but I could understand the character with a chronic illness who knows that their time is coming, making that choice. And it's very sad. And it made me sad for Indy. But also, like, Indy saw him. Yeah. And he talked to his ghost, which was brutal.
It was tough.
And it was really, I thought that was cool. And then it kind of reframes everything as, like, okay, Todd wasn't evil or being a bad person. It's just that illness is really hard.
Yeah, and it's like maybe
he was doing what he could.
Yeah, like maybe I wouldn't make the choices that Todd made with my illness, specifically like the treatment of the dog, but I can understand like days where I don't feel well or I'm really frustrated or anxious and I walk home and my dog jumps all over me and he's 17 pounds and he's not that big, he's not really hurting me, but I'm just like, you're being annoying right now. So I can like trying to put myself into like having like dying.
Yeah, it's really hard.
And that happening, like, I can understand how that would be really, really tough to cope with. Like, do I think I would lock my dog outside or anything?
Well, I think he only locked him outside to make sure that he was safe. Because we find out Bandit was trying to save Grandpa from the same thing, and he ended up getting locked in, and nobody found him.
I know.
Which is tough. But also, at the same time, Bandit wanted to be there to help. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
I think ultimately, like, if you're going to take, like, a broader message away from the movie, it really is ultimately about, like, loyalty.
Yeah. And I think it's just a story about illness and, like, how it shapes and affects us and how our dogs and our pets and our children are not going to be able to see it the same way for what it is. And, like, I think it's something to remember. Mm-hmm. It was, like, a good lesson to be learned about how you act even when you are not at your best and, like, how others are perceiving. It's kind of neat. Mm-hmm. I think it's really cool. I think especially for a movie that I'm calling kind of a gimmick movie, it was able to like bring forward, I think, a powerful on the surface message.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, compliments to that. I still have problems with this movie, but like most of them are just from it feeling a little amateur because it is.
Yeah.
Like,
let's talk.
I can't really complain about that.
Do you have anything more to say about like your problems with the film? Like anything that you can.
My main thing was I think that there should have been probably more scares with Indy. I found that while I loved Indy from the start, we probably should have gotten into scary shit sooner because I do feel like we were hanging out with him and Todd for a while before getting to that.
I don't agree.
I might have been pretty tired when watching this.
I think you missed all the scares because I kept pointing them out to you and you were like, I don't see anything.
Okay.
And I was like, Matt, literally look in the back windshield right now.
Well, and then I also think that with the theming we're talking about, they kind of portray death as a little more evil than it's supposed to, and maybe to a dog's perspective.
That's what
or
I think
it is.
Yeah.
But like that's like he chooses to go in. But I guess portraying it as like the skeleton in the muck, it's like almost feels like real demon like, and it's like not supposed to be. But it's like he goes. He's not like trapped in hell and for eternity. I think he's just dead. He was just taken into the afterlife, wherever that is.
Yeah, I think
he's taken into the ground.
I think it's just portrayed as scary because it's a dog who doesn't understand why they're losing their person.
I think I agree with you. The whole like skeleton in the muck makes sense though, because that's like what happens when you bury a body. Like, you turn to sludge.
Yeah.
So.
And I think it was like a scary image when you did see it in the movie. Yeah. This black, like oozing, goopy mold thing.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I have too many other complaints other than like what I've already said. What did you say? What do you think?
Yeah, I feel like you kind of did capture my complaints. I do think I was scared the first time, but I think if I watched it again, I probably won't be like scared almost at all.
But you're gonna have fun watching Indy, so it's.
But like, I love Indy, so I do think it is rewatchable, and I do think because like I took a lot away from it personally, that I just think that it was like really impressive for this movie about a dog to do that. I'm trying to think. I just think they worked with Indy so well to like get this final product. I just think it's ultimately really impressive as like an inventive piece of film.
Yes.
But yeah, it's just not big budget and you get that feel. I don't really know how to articulate that other than like you just feel that.
And like, I just like also don't think you could replicate this like again. This is like kind of a one-time like little gimmick. Like I hope that there isn't like a huge surge of more people doing this and then making CGI animals that we follow around.
Yeah, because you can't. It just wouldn't work without a genuine animal's like facial expressions.
Completely agree.
I think it would be incredibly disappointing to have a less expressive animal, and with CGI, just inherently not going to get that feeling authentic. Yeah. Do you have any scenes that you thought were particularly scary or your favorite that you'd want to shout out? I'd say
to be honest, I loved when he jumped out the window. I yelped. I was like, he jumps out a window, and I was like, Indy's a badass. I love this dog. Like he broke through a window at some point too, like through glass. And I was just like, it was so fun to see him make decisions where I was like, no, you're in the right, but also you can't just run away, buddy. Like you're a dog.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Like,
yeah, I liked
his
his
dog tried to do what Indy just did.
Like,
he'd be dead so fast. Our dog is really dumb and small.
Yeah, he's gonna get picked up by a coyote or a hawk or something. Like, yeah.
17-pounder life over here with Norton.
He's pretty quick though.
He's fast as fuck.
So I don't know. I think that I do like those scenes of like Indy heroics. I thought that was really cool. Okay.
I say I did really like the end scene with the goodbye between Indy and Todd through Indy being found in the basement in like a moving sense. Like I think that is the scene that will get you in your feels
Vera
the
opening
most.
Up and, yeah.
And then like she's crying and we don't see her. We only hear her crying and then being like, Indy. Oh yeah. That was definitely gut-wrenching. But in terms of like scares, I did think Todd banging his head on the door was pretty scary.
That was a good one.
And then I also thought one of the scares with like the black monster gunky skeleton thing. But I don't know how to really describe where that is, but I feel like you'd know it.
The cancer monster.
Yeah.
Whatever we're calling it. I don't know if it's the cancer monster, death monster, one and the same.
Yeah.
The black sludge is what's in his lungs.
And also, like, it's probably, like, the Wikipedia description said lung disease. I think I'm very much personalizing it because of my own experience.
I think it was lung cancer.
Probably lung cancer.
The coughing up blood is classic movie lung cancer. I've seen Breaking Bad.
Yeah. Also, again, I was like, am I just personalizing this because my parent has lung cancer?
No, I
do think that's, like, my interpretation.
Also, like, grandpa had it, and cancer is genetic, so... Yeah. Okay, well... what are the questions you got for me?
I feel like we talked about what this meant.
Yes, 100%. I think we said what I needed to in spoilers, so...
Okay. Let's play a little this or that, except it's going to be stupid.
Okay. This or that of dog horror movies?
Of dog movies.
Dog movies. You got it.
Okay.
Okay, I'm ready.
I'm like, you probably haven't seen like any of these, so that's going to be tough.
Whichever ones I've seen.
Okay. Good Boy or Homeward Bound?
Good Boy. Although I love Homeward... Actually, I love Homeward Bound so much.
It just depends.
Oh, no.
Homeward Bound makes me cry.
No, I have to go with Homeward Bound, I realized.
Yeah,
I love
tough.
Homeward
It's
Bound.
A tough one.
I haven't seen it in years.
I haven't seen it in years, so it's kind of tough.
How about Homeward Bound 2, Lost in San Francisco?
Good Boy.
Or whatever it is. Okay, Good Boy. I don't even remember 2, so... Is it Lost in San Fran? I can't remember.
They are Lost in San Francisco, yes. Like, how did these animals escape again? You guys need to watch these motherfuckers better. Good Boy or All Dogs Go to Heaven.
I've never seen All Dogs Go to Heaven. Is that crazy?
I hate that motherfucking movie.
I think it's a good movie, but
much.
I think people like it. It just made you sad.
Oh, yeah, that movie, like, upsets me a lot.
All right, so you're saying Good Boy?
Yeah, Good Boy.
Okay. I've not seen Hotel for Dogs, so don't ask me.
Okay. Good Boy or Cats and Dogs.
I remember the spy movie.
Yeah, that movie freaked me out when I was younger, too.
Oh, I really like Cats and Dogs.
The cats were really, like, evil.
They were super evil. You're right, because of evil cats, no, I will go with Good Boy.
Yeah. Ben would never make cats evil. Good Boy or Marley and Me?
Never seen Marley and Me.
What?
Yeah, dude. When I knew what happened in it, I was like, nah, I'm good.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, am I crazy? See, this is a terrible this or that. Ask me Scooby-Doo. Ask me live action Scooby-Doo or Good Boy.
That's a stupid question.
Ask.
Live action Scooby-Doo or Good Boy?
Live action Scooby-Doo. And Monsters Unleashed over Good Boy. I'm sorry.
Okay, I love
those
Unleashed,
movies.
So I'm not like judgmental of that.
Some people say, a lot of people think Monsters Unleashed is better. I think I've decided that the first Scooby-Doo movie is better, mostly because it's more of a parody when Monsters Unleashed is.
The first one is like a lot messier, but probably better overall in quality. But I think that I watched Monsters Unleashed more as a child, and like some of the stupid tiny bits, like Bunny, gets me so much, or the Clue dance. My brother and I would do the Clue dance. Like, I have a lot of nostalgia for that.
No, the first one's so damn funny though.
What about?
We should cover those at some point because we did do Zombie Island for an episode. I think that did well. Reservoir Dogs, I'm putting over Good Boy.
Dogs.
Oh, okay. What about Good Boy with exclamation mark? That one. Did you ever see that one?
That? No.
Right there. He was with the dogs. All dogs are aliens.
Oh, I have seen that.
Yeah. I saw that in theaters, and I really remember liking it as a kid.
Good
but I think I'm going to give it to New Good Boy.
Have you seen Cujo?
No.
Okay. I can't ask that, huh?
Yeah.
Legally Blonde shows up as a movie about dogs.
You know what? I put Legally Blonde over Good Boy. Sorry.
Well,
that's a pretty good pick.
Legally Blonde is like an incredible movie, so
all right. Any more dog movies?
Have you seen Marmaduke? Now I'm just like looking up dog movies.
I don't. Remember? Dog movies are not like something I really
good.
go out of my way to watch other than Homeward Bound. Never saw Bolt.
Yeah, me either, because we were too old.
It's Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Every Scooby-Doo movie, animated, better than Good Boy.
Oh my god, there were too many of those cats and dogs movies.
They kept making
them.
I remember the Spy one being good, but okay. Well, are we done with? Are you looking up?
Okay, if we're thinking about
horror movies from a point of view,
but I'm like trying to think of other examples
that aren't found footage.
Yeah.
This bit is dead for this episode, I think. I'm calling it.
Okay, just rank order the 3 that we've gotten in the last year. In a Violent Nature, Presence, and Good Boy.
Presence, number 1. Good Boy, strong middle. Number 2, and In a Violent Nature at the bottom.
In a Violent Nature is my clear bottom.
Yes.
I think kind of depends on like what you're going to resonate with emotionally, whether Presence or Good Boy.
Both.
Is higher up
You sobbed at Presence.
I did sob at Presence, and I didn't cry at Good Boy, but I think because it's like a very fresh, confusing experience I'm going through that like I don't know how that impacts things. Presence doesn't have a cute dog, but like it is a higher budget movie, and you feel that. So, yeah, probably Presence, but I don't know. They're both in my top 10 for the year. Yeah. So, yeah, both. Spoiler: Good Boy is in my top 10 for the year, and so is Presence. So. It's also very fun to think like we did get 3 similar ideas in movies come out within the last year, but like that is just how the film industry works.
Cheap to make too.
Well, I was gonna say it's also just like that's a common thing for like similar ideas to come out at similar times based off like some sort of cultural thing. I don't know where that. And
usually it's delayed by like 3 years too. So from the time that
clearly this one got started first, which is fun, but. Yeah.
But I do like Presence more. So
yeah. Okay, let's rate Good Boy.
Oh, okay. Can you go first? I need to think.
I've been struggling with this. I'm gonna go with like a 7.75, maybe.
Dang, that's crazy.
Why?
No. I just think it's funny. Like the 7.75.
Is it too high? Too low?
No, 0.75. I thought it was crazy.
I always do.
I'm gonna give this movie a 6.5.
Oh, tough.
I was gonna give it a 7, but I think it's a 6.5. It's on the bottom side of 7. So I'm sorry. I still like it though. But it's just a 6.5.
Okay.
I think I gave Twister a 6, and Twister rocks.
Twister's like the best 6 out of 10 movie ever.
I know.
That and what are we?
All right, +5 or -5 to +5 on this.
+5. You should watch this movie because Indy is such a good boy.
I'm like only like a +1 on this.
Man, the ingenuity.
I know.
Okay, where would you put Presence on a scale of?
Probably like a +3.
Okay. I think they're both like movies that you should definitely watch.
Yeah, I don't love this movie.
Am I boosting this movie because it's a dog? Yes.
I also had, I think, so many high expectations for this because of the marketing, because it sounded so cool that like it's tougher. So.
I think you have to know going that this was not supposed to have a wide release, so. Like, you have to kind of know what that means, and that is, budgetary, and, like, it is giving small indie projects.
100%.
So.
Okay. Anything else?
That's all for today.
Oh, we'll keep this one short then. You want to wrap up the pod? Cool.
All right.
All right. I've been Matt Hanna.
I'm Hannah.
This is Horror at the Hannahs. Stay tuned and stay scared.
Stay scared.
Hey, you're saying it at the same time as me now?
Yeah, maybe.
That's not part of this. All right, bye.